The very thing you call submission, God calls silence. And silence, when it buries your voice, your needs, and your God-given identity, is not holiness. It is fear. If you are a Christian woman who has smiled through the pain, served through the exhaustion, and called it faithfulness, what you are about to hear may be the most freeing truth you have encountered in years. The truth will set you free. But first, it has to find you. 1. The submission trap. You have been taught that a godly wife is a quiet wife. That submission means deferring, disappearing, and making yourself small enough to keep the peace. You have swallowed your opinions at the dinner table. You have apologized for having feelings. You have called it humility. God calls it something else. In Ephesians 5, verses 22 through 24, wives are called to submit to their husbands as to the Lord. But that verse does not live alone. It sits inside a chapter that opens with mutual love, mutual honor, mutual sacrifice. Submission is not self-erasure. It is trust. It is not weakness. It is a posture of strength placed in the right hands. And when you have been erasing yourself instead of trusting God, you have not been practicing submission. You have been practicing disappearance. 2. You cannot pour from empty. You wake up before everyone else. You go to sleep after everyone else. You give to your husband, your children, your church group, your coworkers, your friends. And somewhere in the middle of all of that giving, you have told yourself that wanting rest is selfish, that needing time alone is ungodly, that a good Christian woman does not ask for more than she is given. But in Mark 6:31, Jesus himself looked at his disciples and said, "Come away by yourselves to a quiet place and rest a while." Jesus did not say push through. Jesus did not say serve until you break. He said rest. God wired your body, your mind, and your spirit to need renewal. Overgiving is not martyrdom. It is disobedience dressed in sacrifice. You cannot sustain what God is calling you to if you are running on guilt and exhaustion instead of grace and rest. 3. Conflict is not the enemy. You have believed that a blessed marriage is a smooth marriage, that disagreement means something is broken, that if you and your husband argue, God is displeased. So you smooth it over. You apologize when you are not wrong. You go quiet when you should speak. You keep the surface calm and let the pressure build underneath. But Proverbs 14:4 tells us that where there are no oxen, the manger is clean, meaning nothing grows without the mess of labor. Conflict is not failure, it is friction. And friction, handled in love, produces growth. A marriage without honest tension is not a peaceful marriage, it is a performance. God does not call you to manage the appearance of unity. He calls you to pursue real intimacy, which sometimes means hard conversations at the kitchen table instead of silence that lasts for days. If you have made it this far, it is not by chance. God is speaking to you. Subscribe to this channel and turn on the bell so you do not miss what He has next for you. And right now, in the comments, write this declaration before God: I choose to stop hiding and embrace God's truth for my marriage. 4. The fear of being known. Here is the thing you have never heard named out loud. You do not just fear conflict. You fear being seen. You fear that if your husband knew the full weight of your thoughts, the depth of your doubts, the real version of your needs, he would love you less. So you perform. You present the version of yourself that is easy to live with. Agreeable. Low maintenance. Spiritually composed. You have told yourself this is wisdom. It is not wisdom. It is self-protection dressed as submission. And it is costing you everything you actually want, which is to be fully known and fully loved. In Ephesians 5:21, God calls every believer to submit to one another out of reverence for Christ. Not one person to another, one another. Mutual. That means your voice matters in this marriage. Your thoughts belong in this relationship. Your needs are not a burden. They are part of the covenant. You have been calling your silence humility. God calls it hiding. And you know this is true. You have felt it for years. The loneliness that creeps in, not because your husband is absent, but because the real you never showed up. Not because you were not wanted, because you were afraid to try. True intimacy requires true exposure, not performance, not management. God designed marriage to be the one place on earth where you do not have to hide. But you have been treating it like one more room where you have to earn your place. 5. The secret resentment. It starts small, a comment that went unaddressed, a need that went unmet, a conversation that never happened. You did not say anything because you did not want to be difficult. Because good Christian women do not cause problems. Because you prayed about it and thought that was enough. But the quiet bitterness grew. And now it sits in the room with you. In Ephesians 4:26, God says, "Do not let the sun go down on your anger." That is not a suggestion about bedtime. It is a warning about what unaddressed anger does to a heart over time. Resentment is not strength. It is poison in slow motion. The world tells you that keeping it in is grace. God says unspoken anger is unresolved sin. Not because your feelings are wrong, but because burying them does not heal them. It hardens them. You were not designed to carry what you were meant to release. 6. The false standard. You have looked at the women in your church and wondered why you cannot hold it all together the way they seem to. You have read Proverbs 31 and felt exhausted before you even started. You have scrolled past women who look joyful and capable and close to God and thought, that is what I am supposed to be, and I am failing. In Luke 10:41 and 42, Jesus looked at Martha, spinning in her performance, and said, "Martha, you are worried and troubled about many things. But only one thing is necessary." One thing. Not the perfect home, not the spotless reputation, not the smile that holds at church when everything is crumbling at home. Just one thing. Your worth is not a performance review. It is not measured by what you produce, how you look, how you manage, or how together you seem. God has never valued you for what you do. He has only ever valued you for who you are. And who you are is already enough. Now hear this. You are not too broken for restoration. You are not too far gone for truth. You are not too guilty for grace. The things named in this video were not named to condemn you. They were named to release you. In John 8:32, Jesus says you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. That freedom is not reserved for someone more spiritual, more disciplined, or more put together than you. It is yours right now. True submission is not silence, it is trust. Healthy marriage is not performance, it is partnership. Rest is not laziness, it is obedience. And your voice, the one you have been suppressing in the name of godliness, belongs in your marriage. God put it there. You are not defined by your silence or your mistakes. You are defined by the love of a God who sees the real you and calls you forward anyway.